afford that on red side now. See what we do see, as draft was a bit of an issue in that last game, but I think execution was also an issue. I think the Senna was risky, but it wasn't impossible to make work, but the game fell apart way too fast. As we'll see Vi, Victor also taken away here by Hanwha Life Esports again. And, you know, if you're looking to first pick a Pantheon, probably want to be letting that one through initially here. Corki is a Chovy special.
All right, so I really don't think that banning Corki versus Chovy is the answer.
He has preferred it a lot in these Game 2 drafts, though. And
sure.
I think he has not lost on it.
I just don't think it's really possible to ban out Chovy. You know? Like, ban out the Victor, I understand. The Corki is like, okay,
there's that
I guess.
Kalista ban again I was mentioning. And see, Pantheon actually been banned by Hanwha Life Esports. I thought it was going to be the third ban in this spot. Could look for a Rumble ban again, or it could be Jace. Likely will be a Zeus ban, though, in this spot. The Yone is also available. You know, Yone Sejuani could be really strong for Hanwha Life. They won't be able to get both on blue side on the first pick, but could draft towards it. Peanut loves his Sejuani, we all know. So the Yone is going to be the option. This might just mean a Rumble first pick here for Zeus. See if that's going to be the game plan. They look for the Talia instead here, even though the Azir has already been played. They pushed out the Corki, the Victor. So what will Chovy play? Ahri obviously gone, Azir obviously gone.
Yeah, need to be careful about the Poppy as well. If Gen.G start to draft anything that has dashes at all, and if they give the Poppy over to Peanut or Delight, you're not going to really enjoy yourself at all. Nefiri being looked at here.
Interesting. I suppose it's quite strong with Talia too, so somewhat of a denial pick here as we're tier listing a little bit. I'm just most curious about what Chovy wants to play into this Talia, as we just have seen the Talia dominate the hands of all of our best mid laners, and you could just play Victor and sit back, or Corki and sit back and look for your 2-item spike, but they're gone, right? Like, so this is a smart draft. The same way Gen.G drafted some of the best responses to Azir, then first picked it in Game 1 on blue side, is he's looking for the Hui pick to outrange. An interesting choice. Has not found its place back in the meta as a pick right now. Chovy was very good on it when it was strong back in the day. It was arguably our best play player in the mid lane. But an interesting one. We'll have to see how the rest of this draft eventuates before we can really judge it. But obviously we'll be fine into the Talia in lane.
It's just that anything else that's meta doesn't do well in a Talia anymore. So it's like, or it's banned by Fearless. So you're just like, well, I guess I'm playing something that can range, but I'm not going to play Xerath. So here comes the Hui. And he's great at it, as you mentioned. Now, Sejuani and Jace are going to be the follow-ups here, so definitely a very strong side of the map here for Hanwha Life Esports.
If this Ornn gets locked here, this is going to mean a lot of prio for Zeus in the early game, but there is a lot of team fighting power in this draft, and late game scaling that's going to come with the ornaments. And if you lock Ornn here, I think you're looking for something like a Zeri for your AD carry, something that scales really well. The Smolder that was mentioned could, in theory, be played in the bottom lane. I don't think that's going to be the case in pro play right now, not in a stable enough state to actually be playable down there. But we'll see what they want to do with this, as it will warp the draft quite substantially. There's the Kaisa, maybe traded for an Ezreal here. And then that's where we start to go down the rabbit hole a little bit with AD carries, as Jhin doesn't really suit either of these comps all too well. I think it could work well with the one that Hanwha Life Esports has put together a little bit better, but I don't think you want to be running Jhin as Gen.G in this scenario where you have the Ornn and you're looking for more consistent damage. Varus,
I mean, Jins nowadays do go IE second or third, so I guess maybe.
I mean, it's not like he's not going to get an ornament and he's not going to get power from it, but it just feels like the Hui is a little bit more burst-oriented a lot of the time with how team fights do work out. So we'll see, especially with the line injuries being nerfed on this patch. Varus is gone. They take that away. The Ezreal still looming, as they'll actually take the Jhin away from him. I'm 100% on board with that call, but Jhin has an insane win rate right now, and everyone's playing it. So it's going to be Ezreal or Zeri, right? I think of the two picks that make the most sense for me.
MF. I mean, if you got to blind something, I guess MF. She's still in that spot where it's like, well, there's no Alistair, so we have to pick MF on R4.
Yeah, it's a lane win, likely, with this pick. Rel is still available, of course, so that could be where they go for. Because you have a lot of combos if you get Rel in this draft with the Ornn setup as well. Locking down the Ezreal and the Jace is going to be really hard, though, with this draft, because they're so safe. Like, Jace is a million miles away, and Ezreal is just going to shift away from any of your engages. So, looking at the Hanwha Life esports draft and liking it a lot more right now. They could deny the Rel, which was not a surprise, I think, to anyone, especially considering Alistair's not available. So you end up with the MF, maybe Poppy, or Nautilus. Which one do we like more? I'm not sure. The Poppy is more valuable for the way that Fearless works and removing that champion from the pool and objective control. Nautilus a little bit more guaranteed lockdown on the Ezreal if you can get into our range to hit him.
Drafted a very nice composition here.
I think there's a lot of power in that Ezreal and Jace 2-item power spike here for Hanwha Life. Getting to the later game here with this comp for Gen.G is going to require a lot of finesse.
Yeah, well, they've finessed it before, so we'll see if they can do it again a second time in a row as we hop onto the Rift.
수환사의 협곡에 오신 것을 환영합니다.
All right, game number 2.
30초 남았습니다.
And we got a dancing Ornn.
No, keep dancing.
Yeah. Maybe he feels a little bit lonely.
He's got to
self-conscious.
Save his energy for the laning phase, you know?
Yeah, Ornn has mana, not energy, actually.
Oh.
Yeah. But close.
But
mana is kind of like a form of energy.
Yeah, he doesn't use mana or energy to dance, though. It's just really part of his innate physical stamina that's not represented in the HP or mana bar. But
that makes sense.
That's why he's got to save it.
Do you think champions get tired then?
Yeah. 100%. Yeah, they get tired.
100%?
Yeah, 100% they get tired. But you know what? They don't let it show because they're champions. That's right.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. If they were heroes, 100% they like actually get slowed later on in the game, but they're champions.
What about legends?
Legends never die.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Canyon is off vision on this, in fact, through the location of the ward. It's not going to necessarily matter all too much, but just to highlight there that he was unseen and will actually just go straight to his wolf camp, which is ironic because he's Nefiri.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy? We do have an unsealed spellbook.
Yes, I was going to mention that. It's a little bit buffed on this patch. It's not the we did support unsealed spellbook that he was hoping for. We've seen a lot on Ornn in the past. Pretty durable, so we see a lot of double smite going into late game objectives with this, and gives you more of the what's the meme with Ornn where he's like the assassin, hunter,
the warlock,
the
bard.
Yeah. It kind of goes into that fantasy where you can just do anything. Yeah, see how that goes. Obviously in this lane, though, it's not going to help him deal with a ranged Jace who just keeps shooting him and taking his health away. And it is Zeus' Jace, which I don't think at this point we need to even, like, caster narrative into existence.
Yeah, you guys know about Zeus' Jace.
Like, it's kind of at this point, it's like, man, these casters just keep bringing that up.
Yeah.
Everybody knows it by now. Might as well say, like, Jace doesn't have, like, his ultimate changes his form, and he has it at level 1. Like, what else are they going to explain? Like, Zeus took Flash, which is a very useful ability.
It is very important that he did do that. I'm glad he did not take Ghost on Jace. But, yeah, just going to be a bit of bullying. There was a ward over the wall that, yeah, can spot from one angle, but not the other. So he definitely meant to put that in the tri-brush, and it's not. So maybe we get a little gank here from Canyon. He's going to go for a full clear, but he can hop the wall. Here comes Peanut.
Yeah, I don't know if really make anything happen here unless there's an overextension, which there kind of is.
Yeah, going to get the cleanse out of Ruler, and he is getting pretty low. Does have to flash. Sturo not able to peel very much with the Nautilus right here. Takes a bunch of damage himself, and Canyon.
Well, this ward placement will be relevant. Zeus, though, I think aware because Canyon didn't show up on the bottom side.
Yeah. Here, misses out on a bunch of damage. Can he actually force a flash? Nope, the knockback does get it done.
Well, that was pretty significant. You know, going to relieve the pressure there on the top side. But, you know, both jungle ganks on the opposite sides of the map were successful. Ruler has to lose his summoners, or use his summoners, so ultimately does lose them as a result of that. And no one dies. That's a pretty even trade. I like the situation, though, for Gen.G, given that the Ornn is able to stabilize there in what is a tougher part of this lane, as the MF just is, you know, down summoners, but probably isn't going to be in any danger anytime soon, and is able to buy a cull on the back. Does lose the lane swap speed, but I don't think they care that much about that either, as Keen is going to, with the wave control that he had topside from Canyon's help, be able to walk back to this lane. Doesn't even have to teleport.
Duro, one of our supports that actually does play a decent amount of Nautilus. We are in week 8, but he already has 5 games on it. Yes, he's 5-0, but it's Gen.G. They don't lose.
Yeah, we don't really show the champion stats too much for them.
That's not relevant. I think just the fact that he's played it 5 times is a lot more relevant than the fact that he's won every game on it. As, again, Gen.G just win. They only have 3 game losses this entire season so far. But yeah, really does like this pick, as now he got a little setup down on the bottom side, and guess who doesn't have flash? Ruler is so dead, although everything seems to be missing. They have a lot of dodges here. Will it matter? As he's trying to stand up to Zeus, as it feels like almost every skill shot missed Ruler, and it's just not going to matter, as they'll give that kill over. First blood goes to Peanut, as he takes down Duro, and that's a couple of Gen.G bot laners dead.
I mean, they're really trying to maximize the MF power this early game, but that was many, many steps far too forward, where they did not have any vision in the river or the tri-brush. Like, look at where Ruler and Duro are, and look at what they can't see. Like, the fact that Peanut and Delight can walk this far behind them means it's basically illegal to be here. Just insane greed, and they will be punished for it, as the target selection here is good. Peanut knows he alone should be able to take Duro out. Doesn't even need to flash initially there on the play, but does flash for the secure. And, you know, trade of flashes there feels pretty good. They end up getting Ruler because he is flashless and cleanseless from the previous play.
Yeah.
So Peanut, you know, not only punishing that overextension there, but knowing, obviously, that with no summoners here, it is a freebie. And so suddenly, Zeus gets a kill on this chase. And that's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, he is kind of a big deal. 1-0-1. And, you know, they have Ornn, they have Nautilus, they have reliable ways to really get a hard engage going to Gen.G. But if you're behind, it's definitely going to make things a lot more difficult. I feel like, especially if Ruler falls further behind, which he's only died once. He's not behind that far on CS. Like, he's still going to be doing some stuff. It's really going to be up to his team to set up the team fights and for him to press R. Like, his job is still the same, but I do think that Chovy is certainly going to have some very nice team fights. Thankfully for Gen.G. Seems like he's on his game today.
Now, we haven't watched the mid lane. It's been all about the top and bottom side lanes,
it's just
for all the pressure. It's a, you know, basic mid lane matchup, no kill pressure there or anything like that, but there has been like no jungle attention there. They're both just farming it out. Chovy has generated a significant lead, but it's not anything really to write home about. It's just, oh, okay, he's got a nice lead.
4 CS.
Yeah. And, you know, that equates to about 100 gold. But at the end of the day, like, we haven't seen the power of this Weaver's Wall yet in these exchanges, and it's going to be relevant soon. This should be a big trade.
Yeah, little root down, little ult into his face. Chovy knows he doesn't have kill pressure, but it's definitely going to be very nice, as now, good buffer there, but it doesn't matter because Delight still has flash, and that is going to be a 3rd kill over to Hanwha Life Esports, this time into the Ezreal.
All right, the game 1 was a pretty significant lead, but this is almost getting to insurmountable levels for the comps here.
Unlosable.
We might be getting to unlosable territory, although Gen.G proved that it can take almost any scenario and turn it on its head if there's a mistake made. Delight is going to pull the aggro here. Ruler will ult the wave. Optimistic there, but still, got Ruler's ult, I suppose, if they wanted to do a follow-up here after Peanut takes grubs. Doesn't have his ult anymore, though, so that doesn't seem like it's going to work. Really nice buffer from Duro, but it's just, you know, just doesn't matter in that scenario. When you look at the game state here overall, it's leads everywhere but mid lane. And the Taliyah still going to be incredibly relevant at setting up fights, and it's only a small lead for Chovy, by
70 gold!
Yeah. Like,
still counts.
I'm just a little bit worried. I was worried about this draft, if you guys couldn't tell, for Gen.G. And so far, my worries haven't really been eliminated. I'm still concerned.
Remember that going into game 1, we were like, hey, Gen.G have the lead here in the draft. But then they got behind, but when they came back, it's like, okay, well, you know, they were able to make it work. Now Gen.G in this spot, like, I like certain parts of their comp, but they need to do a lot of work. And guess who's back?
Yep,
back again.
No ult, but he doesn't need
And he's got his friend Zeka's here too. Duro is going to get the hook down. Delay probably going down to the turret here, but it's still going to be 2 kills. And farm denied.
Viper
eventually will just kill him.
Oh!
Okay, they give the kill over to Zeka. Chovy is here. I don't think that does much. The knockup is not going to hit. And now, actually, with Canyon here, they do have enough as an ult comes down on a Peanut. And they're just trying to dodge that one.
Well, that's, you know, it's very rare that in League of Legends when you have that kill secured, in professional League of Legends especially, when you have a kill secured like that and you want to give it to one of your carries, it backfires. Like, that's very rare for that to backfire, but the sidestep there from Ruler and how much time they were able to buy actually became significant. And Gen.G end up getting a big win after a loss in the fight. So turning that one back is huge. Also, Ruler picking up a kill via the turret there onto Duro does feel nice. As up until this moment, you know, I was like, oh, this is not looking good for Ruler, but good flash, got his summoners back up, and then here they really want to give the kill over to Viper. Zeka ends up ultimately getting it here, but that sidestep from Ruler actually buys so much time, and then Canyon is able to get up here, and Viper took so much damage from Chovy coming up here to the top side of the map that Canyon could just execute him here, and they will ultimately trade back in a big way. So, you know, a bit of a backfire there from Hanwha Life, a little bit of greed, and, you know, I'm not saying it's quite like the backfire that we saw in the Herald fight in game 1, but still feeling much better for Gen.G.
Not yet. There is still a Herald fight to have in this game, so let's not put it past Hanwha.
Because I was starting to feel like this was going to be one of those MF games, which I think even Rulers had one this year already, where you go to the post-game screen, it's like 4,000 damage MF, and you're like, oh yeah, he couldn't play the game. It's a little bit rough. They didn't have the setup. They didn't have a rel.
I feel like Ruler was the first one where we were like, doesn't seem like his MF is that good.
But then later he had some really good MF games, but at the very early parts we were a little bit, you know, we're raising our eyebrows a little bit. But in this game, you know, he's just unfortunately was super greedy. Like, he just got punished, and now he's 1 and 2 in this game, but significantly far behind CS, and now Duro is looking for wraparound, I guess.
That's okay. A little scary. Chovy's here.
Like, Duro has to come over here to try to keep Chovy alive. Otherwise, he just has to give up this wave and plates to Zeka. And because they denied Duro entry, they will just get those plates, and Chovy will be denied farm. So, feels really good if you are on a life in this exchange. Chovy gets some of it. So, it's not like the end of the world on this play.
Gonna miss this time. Ruler still in a lot of trouble, and he gets stunned, and he doesn't have flash or cleanse.
Nothing from the, again, the topside player is targeting him.
Chovy, looks like he should be okay.
Has no mana to clear this wave. I don't think they're gonna go for a follow-up though, as Duro does show up here to keep him safe. But those turn over to the Dragon. And even the Dragon's up 1-1. Third death on Ruler on this misfortune. Hasn't been able to cash out his cull.
Worst case scenario for Gen.G is Hextech Soul. Yeah. If it's Hextech Soul and you've got Jace, Talia, Ezreal on your team,
just say goodnight.
You win the game.
Yeah. As Ruler here, like, the wave is just in such a terrible spot for him. He has to walk up. And Canyon's nearby, so I guess he felt like he was safe enough to do so and didn't want to lose that farm.
Loud.
But down he goes. Triforce done for Viper. As Ruler is still hoping for that first item Bloodthirster. It's going to help him a lot in terms of how he can farm here in the mid lane once he does have it. And we'll get it once this Colt cashes in, but man, this is a bit of a stomp here so far in this second game.
Yeah, it's definitely a stomp. They continue to just find the MF and the Nautilus and gank that lane. At the same time, though, Gen.G aren't massively behind in gold, so they've got that going for them. Like, Chovy's farming well. Ruler doesn't really exist, but at least he has his BT, so he'll begin to exist now at this point in the game.
When you're this far behind, though, and you don't have a circle for your MF, let's say. Like, you have the Ornn, Call of the Forge God. That's your best bet to set up a big Misfortune ultimate. Yeah, maybe Hui could fear somebody at the right angle, or maybe Duro gets a multi-man knockup, but those are all super optimistic things. when you're behind, it gets even trickier to pull those plays off. And, you know, if they had something like a Zeri in this comp, where you get the ornament online and Zeri has a big ultimate, slides over the wall at the right moment, you know, Hanwha Life overextended, that type of fight, I feel like if you were looking at the ornaments, you'd be like, oh man, hold on, they have Ornn, maybe? Let's wait and see. But this doesn't feel like that type of situation here, as MF is not really a hyper carry in any sense. It's just going to be an ult button and could clean up the fights, but not with the situation in terms of itemization right now, as Viper's going to hit his 2-item spike, Zeus is going to hit his 2-item spike, and then things just get so much harder from there. And that's why we're kind of like submitting the draft for Gen.G's Obituary in this one, and maybe I'm starting to feel a series on my hands a little bit.
I'm looking and I'm
tingling.
like, it just says Gen.G here for some reason. I don't really know. I don't see any series yet. Now, that might change, but I'm not going to count them out yet. You know?
I mean, I'm never going to count them 100% out, but it's going to take a lot to get back in this one.
Yeah. I think just, you know, a good team fight. I think Gen.G were able to do a good job of team fighting in the last game. We didn't see too many that were even because it was one into Gen.G being so far ahead that they could do anything. It still felt like Gen.G had the better setups. So maybe if you've got like a really nice engage with the Ornn,
Ruler has
they
his
can do something.
You know, that's going to help.
Yeah, they have like a siege comp where it's like you've got MF and you've got Hui, and if you keep them safe, they can do a ton of damage from afar.
They have the better setup here, but trying to hold this Herald is going to be tricky. Delight's just fishing for that angle.
Yeah, I mean, he wants to engage by any means, but now he's going to lose the Celestial opposition. He goes in, he doesn't find much for Ruler. Not very connected, but he gets behind the wall! And there you go, he is totally protected. Hanwha Life go way too deep. And what is it about these Herald fights that just don't go well for them? Gen.G get the lead.
Gen.G, yeah, they take a gold lead off of this play, and they had the better setup. They were there way faster. Zeus could have teleported in. If they really wanted to contest, they could have really forced the idea. You know, they had Weaver's Wall, but they just kind of walked straight in. Ruler did have to flash, so Peanut wanted to come punish him here, but he's got Cleanse. They're not going to be able to push the issue any further. We have a bizarre fight here for Hanwha Life. Once again, just kind of funneling
You mentioned the sums, Wolf.
Yeah, I mean, he had his sums up. Ruler's on the edge of the wall here, and when this engage comes through, it looks like, okay, maybe they'll reset. He is able to avoid the Magnet Storm, then get over the wall, then the Ornn ultimate connects, and everything goes right here for Gen.G. As Ruler's positioning phenomenal in that moment, and Delight fishing super hard, and I think relying just on your Rel engage alone in a situation like this where Gen.G know that's the case, are literally sidestepping the Rel, sidestep the crash down before that Magnet Storm came through. I think you're asking a lot to try to hard force a fight there, and now Ruler takes a gold lead and getting closer to his IE. I mean, this is the disaster you kind of kept saying, well, we'll see it. I didn't think we were going to see it. I didn't think it was going to happen.
There's always a chance when it's Gen.G versus Hanwha Life Esports.
I should have known. There was literally evidence in game one that this could occur.
Yeah, I mean,
I just thought Hanwha Life was going to play perfect League of Legends, and that hasn't been the case since First Stand. And even most of First Stand, it wasn't either, to be fair.
You could tell that Hanwha Life, they just felt like they were so far ahead that they can just kind of do whatever they want. But the overextension was so real into an MF that has flash, and the Shock Blast doesn't connect. Like, the Taliyah can't get in there. Just so much of their damage wasn't there. Chovy didn't even burn flash, by the way. He probably did a lot of damage in that fight, even though really the highlight was the turn Ornhorn from Keen and Ruler flashing the wall and getting to bullet time all of them. But, you know, now he's another sitting duck, but he's got flash. And, you know, I don't know how much deep dive this Hanwha Life Esports team really has. Like, they have the Rel, but the follow-up is pretty slow. I mean, they don't have a lot of divers alongside of her.
If you have vision control and you're the first to the objective, you can use your poke, as Chovy is bought.
Yeah, he's going to have to flash. So, about that flash, it's gone now.
Well, at least he didn't use it in the last fight, or he would be 110% dead. They are going to actually be able to turn this into a mid-turret take as well. Heavy commitment by Hanwha Life. Backfires.
Oh. They really wanted that hook to hit. Sorry to Duro, but he definitely wants that one back.
One more charge.
Ruler is, gonna get smited in the face of the Sejuani. Doesn't seem to care all that much, as the knockback isn't going to connect either. Meanwhile, Zeus is just top. Didn't even bother TPing into this. He's just taking the turret.
Yeah, Zeka rather is pinging that he's going straight down the bottom. They might be able to get two turrets on the edge, case here, where they get the top side lane turret. Zeka has damaged this turret significantly down the bottom side, and because he has tempo advantage here, might be able to push that one through. They are going to shadow him. What I was saying right before that broke out was they have a lot of poke, right? They have Ezreal, they have Zeus on this Jace. So if they have control of an objective like this one, for example, right now, it's really hard for Gen.G to kind of walk in and set up those Ornhorns. But when Gen.G were first on the Herald and they tried to hard force in without really having poke and just going, all right, well, Delight will get it done. He's our engage. It can get a little messy. So we'll see what ends up happening. So for some of these upcoming objective fights, this time they were able to get this one essentially for free.
What? Ken was just like hanging out over there. He's like, no, that's my Raptor.
You don't have mid turrets, so I can be here and I can do whatever I want.
He was like hanging out by their blue buff, waiting for someone to face check, and Kennen is very strong right now.
Yeah.
He has a pretty good lead. He's waiting for that second item. Once he gets the second item, he is going to be incredibly strong. So probably farming up right now for that.
Now, 2 item spikes hitting here for Viper, Zeus, and Ruler, basically all at the same time. Chovy's a little bit further behind in that regard. 2 items here for Zeka. But there's no objective to fight over outside of Otacon right now, and I think trying to fight for Otacon without the control over that side of the map here for Hanwha Life seems like a potentially series-losing choice. But I do want to just mention that those spikes are coming online. Zeus obviously still needs to finish his transformation, but he's nearly there. And this could be the moment that decides this series. If Hanwha Life Esports start to panic and hone in on this objective and say, all right, we're trying to Weaver's Wall them off. We got this. We have Prio. And they just go for it. Gen.G could punish. I feel like that would be a tragic end to the series, but Valdez. Keen does have TP.
Yeah.
And Canyon is very far away, though. So, I mean, this Neferi is not going to be able to join, but maybe they could try to look for the punish on the exit. They're just going to give it up.
I guess they're just giving it away. Okay. Otacon on this patch is very strong. And they're going to get a bunch of blood petals here. They get up to 19. I was going to mention that Gen.G actually had a really nice lead. It was like 24-6 or something in blood petals. But then Hanwha Life get the Otacon. They're going to shore up some of that and also obviously have that permanent effect in this game. Still a very close one.
Horizon Focus buffed on this match. It's picked up here by
Big Boom Boom AP.
Big Boom Boom AP. They took away the extra damage that you got from its old passive and just said it's big AP number now.
Large number.
It's like 110. It's big.
Yes.
So
it got a little bit more expensive, right? Like 200 gold.
Yeah. I mean, he's got it, and Turo, it's going to be okay. But the burst damage that Chovy has to start off fights, or turn fights, as we've seen already Gen.G do quite well on that last Herald, is pretty significant here. And now the transformation's there for Zeus.
Oh man, Keen just hit 14. He upgraded the IE on the MF.
Yeah.
So any
ornament?
Any ornament enjoyers,
Yeah.
but also like Ruler, he was so far behind. He got punished so much early on, and it just doesn't matter anymore. He has a gold lead and he has an ornament.
He does.
And he's MF, sure, but now like he's going to be pumping damage.
He is MF, and he is going to be potentially pumping damage, especially with his R button. But what hasn't gone Gen.G's way fully just yet is map control. And that is where their comp is going to struggle a lot when they don't have it, especially with the poke we've talked about a lot so far. You can see the map control allows Peanut to come over here and take these Krugs away. Chovy's not safe, doesn't have flash. And Keen is safe over here, arguably, but there's nothing for him to really get. He already got the turret earlier, so...
He's getting levels.
He is getting levels, and he's getting more ornaments. We're looking for Chovy soon. 2 items hit for Canyon, as I mentioned. He was already quite strong, but he is very, very strong at the moment with his Spear of Shojin. But I think I'm not convinced that Gen.G are fully in control of this game, even with the slight gold lead they have, until we see this upcoming team fight, which is likely going to be on Soul Point for Hanwha Life on this Dragon, as Prio is everything for Hanwha Life Esports. If they once again just let the Prio go to Gen.G and try to force their way through with a Rel Flash Engage, I feel like we could see history repeat itself, Valdez.
Absolutely could. I mean, there's so many ways to punish and engage on the side of Gen.G as well. It's not quite Braum Skarner, but it's a extremely tanky Ornn, and the Nautilus to just hook you down. And as long as you keep the carry safe, I feel like Gen.G will be having a good time in these team fights. So you can poke all you want, but you got to hit the right targets, and you have to access the backline. But if you're not doing that, I don't really see a good team fight for Hanwha Life Esports. Still a very close game. They have the Otacon. Like, the gold is one thing, but I think the Otacon is definitely worth a lot more than the gold lead that Gen.G has. So it's just a very even one right now.
Yeah, it's 40 seconds till this Dragon spawns. Gen.G did clear out the vision for the most part of the river. They're trying to fight for Prio right now in the bottom lane. Canyon challenging here. But Hanwha Life are here, and now they're taking that prio away. This is when the poke starts to become relevant. So watch every single Mystic shot here from Viper. Every single one is relevant. Chovy will dodge this. Also, the setup for where Zeus is, where he sets up what flank angle he has, because if he's hitting Shock Blast onto an Ornn, very low value. If he's hitting him onto the carries, different story.
Yeah. I also feel like in the case of Gen.G, they need to let Hanwha Life engage. I say that. We're looking for entries here.
Yeah, then the Fury also kind of annoying because her dogs block a lot of that Shock Blast damage. As you can see, still getting some damage in, trying to bait Canyon to get his W out. They did get it here, but moments ago, Peanut was like standing on top of him trying to bait it out, so maybe they could try to go for the jungle kill into the objective, as this is where the poke is going to shine. Zeus is like looking for Shock Blast angles, misses this one.
Oh, TP here for Chovy is like right in the thick of things. I think he should be okay with Keen standing right in front of him. And Duro nearby. Hanwha Life Esports, they want to get in. Ult will be used, but that's onto an Ornn. A ton of damage going into only Ornn. And Delight has to go back. This is the Dragon also over to the side of Gen.G. They're looking for the turnarounds here, but Viper is just going to hop away. Zeus, though, not in a very good spot. And it doesn't look like he'll be getting away from this one. So Gen.G, they get the Drake. And they'll almost definitely be getting Zeus as well.
100% here. He's going to go down. Who gets the kill? It's Chovy. Gotten a few of those today.
Was there a question?
We weren't quite at 2,500. We may have jumped the gun on that one, but he's one kill at a time. He's one kill in this game closer to that 2,500 milestone. The poke wasn't really landing the way I think it needed to here for Hanwha Life, and Gen.G are so incredibly patient. The fact that the Ornn is the one that gets caught means that he could just flash back into the fight, and the bullet time does so much damage. And now Hanwha Life, they index so hard into trying to set up this poke with Viper and Zeus that the team is kind of cut in half. So Gen.G end up getting the Dragon, and it's either Viper or Zeus. One of them dies 100% in this scenario, and because the Ezreal is a lot more mobile, he's the one that gets out. And unfortunately for the other poke champion that Zeus is playing, he's going to go down as well. The Jace just kind of caught in that awkward spot there, trying to get that damage done, but Gen.G playing around vision, playing so slow there, and just allowing the Ornn to be the first target, looking for the turn, just like we saw in the Herald fight. Very similar situation. And when you're diving into a misfortune, if you're not hitting the misfortune, her bullet time is taking a third of everyone else's health, and then you can't just win you can't win the fight anymore if you're split, which Hanwha Life were after that initial setup.
Yeah, exactly. It's really difficult for the poke to land because you're hitting Ornn, you're hitting the Fury Dogs, and you're just not doing enough. And MF has BT as well. Chovy doesn't ever really seem to be in a bad spot in these fights. He's keeping himself very safe, knows he has the supreme range advantage in this entire game, outside of like maybe Shock Blast accelerated. Even then, Chovy can probably match it with his ability, but yeah, he's always just like, I will be nowhere near the engage, and they will never touch me. And as long as that continues to be the case, I think that Hanwha Life will struggle. Still a close game. Again, it's hard to say who's going to take it from here, as Canyon is very much in no man's land, and he's going to be punished for this. Tries to flash away. We got a wall coming in.
It's exactly what they tried to do to him before, but they're spending so many resources. They're so far forward.
Yeah, they are so far forward. Zeka in a rough spot. Ruler does have to flash, though, but does get the kill. And now Chovy lights them all up. He's got the angle. He zones everybody away, and they take down Peanut as well. And we got Snipes coming in here on top of it all for a fight. They killed Canyon before he could do anything.
Well, I mean,
still they lost.
It's the exact same setup they were looking for on the Dragon for Canyon. Peanut gets on top of him, they force out the untargetable, and then Peanut instantly ults him. He has to hit those, but it just takes so long to kill him that he buys enough time for the rest of the team to show up. Keen has a great ult. Chovy turns the fight. Shock Blast here trying to turn the tide.
He's level 16 right now. Like, nobody's doing damage to him. Now that Shock Blast is going to kill Duro, though. And Keen is taking a lot of damage here from the Baron. As, yes, they'll absolutely have to pull off of this one. We do have a knockup, though, on a Zeus. Delight goes in, and Ruler, oh, he's going to miss the Q, but it doesn't matter. Zeus was dead first anyway. And the turn, Hanwha Life Esports, they fall for the bait again.
Again, another one of these. Hanwha Life Esports, it feels like they're so close to catching Gen.G, but the reach is just not long enough. Their grasp, every time they try to tighten their hands, the sand of Gen.G slips through their fingers. As here, you got out the W, and Penis just instantly ults. We're taking this guy out. Weaver's wall lock him down. We take out the jungle, we're going to kite back to Baron.
Deep.
The problem is you're so deep here, Canyon lives for so long. Look at where Duro is. He ults Viper and removes him from the fight. There's so little damage here. Zeka is way too deep, and then Chovy's like, we're getting more. Drops his ultimate in. Duro has a fantastic hook there onto Peanut, so now Baron is the option. Now Zeus does play this really well here, avoids the knock-up attempt there by Keen, puts a ton of damage in, takes Duro out with the Shock Blast, but it's still just a losing game here. As the Viper's too low to continue to fight. He can't do it. He can't get in. Flight does end up missing here, which I don't know if it really would have mattered, but feels bad as Ruler gets another kill on this MF. And man, we were a long way away from that early game we were talking about. We were like, maybe it's almost unwinnable.
Yeah.
Anything is winnable for Gen.G.
I wasn't ready to believe. I wasn't ready. It felt like it, but
look at that lead they had. You know, I mean, 2,000 gold lead, most teams wish they dream of a 2,000 gold lead against Gen.G.
Yeah, at that point in the game as well, it was like 10 minutes in, right? It was just such a huge early game lead, but they just can't convert into actual winning game state in these mid to late games.
All the ults are back up. Choke point control is Gen.G's. Hanwha Life, do not face plant this again. I mean, they have to do something, obviously, if Gen.G do start that objective, but play it slow for now.
All right, well, Keen's going to go in. Again, he's basically just a block of steel. Like, nobody can really get through him. And you look at the positioning, like, Keen is literally just standing right in front of Chovy. No Shock Blasts, no Sejuani ults.
Trade Dragon for Baron.
Even the Realm struggle there.
But they don't have enough control here. Peanut's slowly taking this ward out. I think it's just going to be the Dragon into get off my Baron.
Yeah.
Deus isn't even there.
All right, little root here as no knockup from Keen there, but he's fine. He is incredibly tanky.
And Canyon just zones Zeus away. He's a level up on Zeus, by the way.
Yeah, 2 on Peanut. I mean,
that was optimistic.
It's just desperation at this point, and again, there's no damage dealer there to follow up, even if it does hit.
Yeah, I mean, Viper was fairly close by, and will actually look for the true shot, but I don't think that true shot landing is how Hanwha Life are like, okay, got him, we're doing Baron. Like, there's an angle. Still, I mean, a nice try, but Peanut doesn't have his ultimate. And Gen.G are just chilling because they have control now. Before they had the gold lead, and we were like, okay, well, let's see what happens when, you know, we have the Jace and the Ezreal poking. It hasn't really worked out. You know, the positioning of Keen has been great. Ruler's positioning has been amazing. And if you can't kill the MF and Chovy's hitting these big ultimates, layering a ton of damage in the fight now as Leandri's, you have Black Torch and Leandri's, or Blackfire, I should say. You just do so much in these longer fights.
They're burning.
They're burning, and they also has like all that additional AP, so the burst of a lot of his abilities just really hits hard when you're chasing them down at the end, once the fight is already won. And from here, it's the same story. Gen.G get control, and when they have control, it feels like this comp can do no wrong. Like, getting to a full summoner misfortune, or good luck.
Yeah, it's just not happening. Now Ruler might be forced to flash here, but he's just going to run really fast instead, utilizing the walk strategy, but they're throwing everything into him, and maybe should have just flashed, as now we have the follow-up here from Gen.G, but Chovy only just got here. It's still going to be a kill onto the support, at least, but Keen in a bit of a rough spot. He's taking the damage. Hanwha Life, they'll take out the Ornn.
Okay, that's the miracle angle. I mean, Ruler 100% should have flashed that, but he was playing a little greedy, and now maybe they can get something done here. Canyon's already used his W. Chovy has to do what he can to try to be a rapid-fire cannon to stop these players from taking down the Baron, try to add as much poke as he can. Canyon has Flash and Smite here, so gonna need to look for a turn. Zeka shows back up with TP.
Chovy is going to push them out as well, and Hanwha Life just pull off of it for now, but a ton of damage coming out for a Viper. Wants to take out Chovy, but he zones him, and that's all they needed to do. It's a Smite here. The Baron goes to Hanwha Life.
Some really good confident play from Viper in these last few moments were really critical to kill onto Keen, where he was able to go forward there with the E and take him out. This moment as well, where he's able to zone the carries away. Strong Ezreal play. A lot of the poke wasn't landing earlier, but in these clutch moments, he is doing a lot of heavy lifting, which Viper has been doing for Hanwha Life a lot this season when things get a little bit murky. Now, this play initially looked like it was a big whiff, but Ruler doesn't flash the Magnet Storm, and he is just instantly taken out with all the damage coming through from Viper and Zeus. And then Keen here as well goes incredibly low. Duro flashes away, and then Viper with the chase, ease forward, knows he has enough agency here in this one. Chovy already used his ult, no fear. And Hanwha Life fans are...
Any believers?
I mean, I think it's been quite a roller coaster of emotions for them today with how things have been so back and forth. And now, it's a playable game. Now, 2,000 gold lead for Hanwha Life Esports, and they have map control back. That was what they've had to fight and wrestle so much to get back. They have it, and they have Baron.
Not sure about that ult, and Zeka even gonna flash. Yeah, maybe he was zoning Chovy out. I couldn't quite see above on the minimap, but either way, it doesn't look like it did much of anything. As Chovy was following up with damage anyway.
Keen ult in trade, though, feels bad for Gen.G, but they're trying to press forward here.
Shot barrage not going to hit Keen. That is a very tanky Ornn. They got to be careful, and this time they're not going to overcommit. I like that from Hanwha.
Yeah, because you're once again just forcing yourself into a choke point. If you do, into this bullet time. So a lot of restraint shown. Great dodge there by Chovy. No vision in that brush. Still reacts instantly. Not that it matters all too much, but you love to see stuff like that from currently LCK's best player. It's not over until that Nexus explodes, though, and this Baron did not get core damage done. They didn't get any of the inner turrets, and inhibitors are far, far away from it looks like it's going to happen with this Baron. 30 seconds until Dragon, and they didn't even hold Prio in the core lanes. Like, the bottom lane is just dead even here in mid. Gen.G with the faster resets are pushing it out, challenging it here against the Baron. Canyon, though.
Yeah, Canyon just going to run into them, and now he's going to go untargetable. Tries to flash, he gets to disengage, but it doesn't matter as he gets punished. And now Keen in a rough spot. The engage comes in from Delight. Ruler, though, and Chovy are very safe in the back line, but the damage is being done to the front line. As a huge bull time, though, as he take out Zeka. And now you've got Chovy in a good spot. These two carries, incredibly healthy.
Keen did so much work there, gets the extra knockup. Now Peanut's so low. And Chovy is looking to blast them from range. He's an artillery mage, and there's another one.
They have blue buff. Viper, you got to be so careful doing that. You got to be so careful. There's a TP behind them, though. I don't know if the rest of the team can follow up.
They have to just force. They have to just force, I think.
Okay, Fear comes in. They got to turn on the Zeus, and there it is. The Sun Flash gets it. The flash in, and Chovy, trying to get him, flashes out. And it ult sails wide. And Viper on the Ezreal, I think, should be able to clean this one up. There it is. The E-in and the auto is enough.
Yeah, just enough mana to use the speed up, but he still gets taken out by Viper there in the end. Great teleport from Zeus. I think without that, they will eventually win the fight. He comes over, has the flank there, and now Hanwha Life Esports look to take this Dragon to put us 3 Drakes apiece between these two squads. They have a significant gold lead. It's 4,000 at this point. These fights are looking so close. The finesse we are seeing from Gen.G, because once again, Canyon is the target, right? They're trying to get his W out. They eventually do. He's hit with the ult, so he cannot actually blast Cone away. And then watch Keen in this fight. Looks for the interrupt on Delight. Doesn't have that one. But then the damage is coming through. He hits his ultimate here and gets the charge through with a flash to buffer it. And that is what allows Ruler to get the kill there on the Zeka with the bullet time just on the edge. Now everyone's super low. And Zeus makes the correct call to back here and TP in at full health. And because they have this ward in the mid lane, as well as that ward there on the Raptor, I actually thought he went to the mid ward. They have 2 wards he can TP to on the flank. And so Ruler and Chovy just kind of have to all in. They get split here. And Chovy actually plays incredibly well. Zeus gets the kill there. Chovy flashes, or gets the flash out of Zeus and nearly escapes. And now we reset. This game is wild.
36 minutes in, you don't know who's going to win yet. No soul in this game just yet. 3 dragons apiece. Otacon and the gold lead here for Hanwha Life Esports. You got to like their chances in this one, especially for Viper. He's just so fed at this point in time. He's doing incredible amounts of damage. And they're just chunking through the front line, which I think Gen.G is the one thing they can't really deal with.
Uh-oh, Ruler, no flash.
Yeah, he is very fast, so he's just going to run down.
Yeah, the Cloud Soul helping out.
He's just hanging out in their jungle.
I mean,
what is happening?
If he can find, you know, Ezreal coming over here, just look for some farm.
They spotted him. They know. Okay, we're going to go north. Let's see if this works.
He just has to buy as much time as possible. The team is looking for a turn.
I mean, they're going all in on a Canyon, but now, look at this. The other jungler here, Peanut, is in a bit of trouble. He's very tanky in the MF. Just barely able to chew through that one. And so we trade junglers.
I mean, I feel like in this moment, Canyon has just identified the whole game plan of Hanwha is to kill the Nefiri. And
Zeka, where are you going? Where are you going?
He's got his passive. He's fine.
That was so close. He gets hooked. He's dead. And then the Baron spawns in 20 seconds.
Okay. Both junglers down for almost the exact same time here. 35-37 between Canyon and Peanut at this moment in time. Uh-oh. When a vision toggle comes in like this, you always get worried. Okay, Viper just going to hit a Q. But man, the way Canyon's playing is if he catches Ezreal in the brush trying to go over and do Raptors, try to get some additional gold, you know, that might be a winning play. But he also was able to buy so much time. If he gets over the wall there, too, it's not even an even trade. Now, Baron control completely to Hanwha Life here, even without a jungler.
Yep, with the wall, even with the Ornn to break it down. A snipe from Chovy. A little bit of damage comes in, but it's not enough. And Hanwha Life, they just burst it down.
A great read here from Hanwha because they had enough control over this area, and Gen.G's composition isn't going to function as well when they can't actually force a fight into choke. They don't have the same type of engage that Hanwha has. Hanwha had great turn if Gen.G were even closer and could have looked for the fight. They weren't, and they knew they had just enough space there to actually burst it down without a jungler, knowing there's no enemy jungler as well. As Canyon's buying a ton of time, like look at the chase here. He is stopped when his attempt to get over the wall, but if he actually gets over the wall and they get Peanut, this game would look very different. And he kind of has a global taunt in this one as they just keep trying to take him out in these big fights. As getting to the backline is a little bit trickier. Getting to Ruler, getting to Chovy, that's a step too far. But if you start with Canyon, you get his W, maybe you can win the fight. It get a little bit messy there, but Hanwha Life ultimately do get the Baron here. I'm going to look to Siege, and maybe this time they can finally get some damage done to the core of the base of Gen.G. Those inhibitor turrets still full health. Mid inner still up, bottom inner still up as Viper is looking to use his W to rip it apart.
Yeah, push comes down here in the bottom lane. There's not a thing that King can do.
Yeah, there's no teleport, flank wards, or anything on the map here for Gen.G. They just kind of have to sit back and clear waves. And so far, they will do just that. Cloud Soul is on the table here in 1 minute. If they can remain in control of these lanes with the Baron prio, and it should be on the cards here for Hanwha Life Esports.
Yeah, top is pushing right now for Hanwha, but I think it's a bit early. Chovy's going to get up there and push it back and then join on the bottom side of the map. So this is actually very good timing here for Chovy.
Yeah, he's
on this wave.
Just barely going to be able to, I think, take this one out and then rejoin, but without teleport, you know, the best he can do is just like, I'm not going to necessarily get all this farm, but like as much as I can, and then just come back and rejoin my team. 1 minute here on this Baron still for Hanwha Life. Hasn't been the biggest Barons, you know, back-to-back for them in this game to get that hull damage done. As a bit of a wraparound for Canyon now.
Chovy is he's playing with fire there. Generally, you want to just sit behind these tanks. A lot of damage done by Zeka already to Keen. Shot blast.
He's playing that off angle to see if he can clear the wave, and he is successful.
All right, little ult in. That's going to hit a buffering Nautilus. And now we got the follow-up engage here. In onto Delight. He's in so much trouble, but look at that backline. Just get first to shred, but Delight is going to go down. And now you got an ult that hits nobody from the side of Ruler as they're just trying to run away. Keen trying to peel for the team, but the shot blast hits Canyon. And Keen can't do enough.
Zeus doing so much there. They end up getting the kill onto Canyon. Baron's still up for 15 more seconds here. Zeus eats half of his health bar in damage, though. And they're just going to look for the Dragon. The Dragon should be a freebie here for Hanwha Life Esports. True Shot Barrage going to delay some backs here, and Chovy's just going to go over and clean the top wave up. Gen.G's still hanging on in this game because their inhibitors are still up in a 6,000 gold lead when you get to 40 minutes in. When we're looking for Elder territory, doesn't matter as much as people start to get full build. And when you consider the ornament gold value that's inherent in Gen.G's composition here, Delight's turn. It sets up the flash in. Magnet Storm is there. Canyon taxis, though, and gets away. But this ultimate missing for Ruler is a big deal as they have Chovy in danger.
Who's in danger here? Zeka. Oh, the hook's going to miss. And we got rocks. We got all of Gen.G here, though, basically, as we're looking to try to do something to Zeka. That's a lot of damage already done to him. One shot by Ruler. That's going to be the end of Zeka in a really weird top lane skirmish.
Yeah, he just got super greedy. You could see him on the player cam there, messing up his hair. Definitely not unhappy with how that scenario did eventuate there, as didn't expect Duro to be there. Duro missed, but as more show up and he breaks his arm guard, the follow-up is pretty self-explanatory from there. As he goes up here trying to chase down a low mana Chovy, and then Duro comes over the wall, misses the hook, but that's not the end of the story because Ruler and Keen are also here. And then the follow-up here, he has the arm guard, but still is hit by the second part of the Call of the Forge God. Really easy to line those up. Timing-wise, a little bit trickier there for Keen, but he pulls it off. And is this game just going to be decided by Elder in 4.5 minutes? It starts to feel like that is going to be the
Gen.G
case.
versus Hanwha Life Esports, that's challengers, baby.
Yeah, because they just haven't been able to get any damage done to the base, despite 2 Barons, despite a large amount of map control. It hasn't led to significant enough advantages. Canyon's been running circles around them when they do have those Barons, finding that backline access, slowing them down. Ruler, Kraken Slayer online.
6 items.
Core complete, no boots.
No boots.
So, I mean, you see the item value here is 1,600 higher than Viper, still has his tier 3 cooldown boots here. And this MF doesn't really need to do a whole lot of walking. She just needs to do shooting.
This time, though, I hope it's on a target that is on the enemy team. I mean, it was good dodging from Zeus. Maybe he thought the CC would be there, but it's not a great MF feel if you use your ult and you just hit nobody. So gonna need a bit more out of him.
I really feel like what will be the main decider in this fight is Prio and Delight's engage. As Peanut is looking for, again, Canyon, trying to bait out his W.
Yeah, I mean, another weird spot. They don't want to engage on a Keen, but they get the TP here at a Chovy, so looking for the blue buff. That is very important for the Hui, specifically, because Chovy's been out of mana for a lot of this game.
It's a really big deal. He gets, obviously, faster cooldowns as well from it, and that's actually a really good point you mentioned. I mean, you mentioned it earlier as well, but it's big for him that he has that. 3 minutes until the Elder spawn. But the
Baron's about to be up.
Yeah, the Baron vision, the control over the map that Hanwha has maintained this whole game, it feels like. All of its late game is still there. So Canyon has to be the one to come over here and try to face check.
Yeah, I see a wall coming down. Maybe trying to get Ruler here. Not going to happen.
Bit disjointed here on the side of Hanwha Life. That's a big ultimate
shot
down.
barrage down 2.
Yeah, 2 big ultimates down now.
And Viper will get it back quickly, but like, we'll see.
That's the kind of poke you want to see if you're a Hanwha Life esports fan onto critical target here. But Ruler is MF with Bloodthirster, so gets it up real quick. But if you hit that before a fight and then you collapse on top of Ruler, sometimes he doesn't live those. His flash is just now coming back online. Maybe it's not an Elder flip game. Maybe it's all about that Baron. His Delight with a wraparound has flash and Magnet Storm.
Oh,
this could be the moment. Ruler!
Does he know? Does he know? He's caught! He's gonna cleanse and flash out of there. And now Hanwha Life don't want any more. They say, okay, we got his cleanse, we got his flash.
That's huge. Really important that he is able to react and live there, but without those cooldowns, I think Baron is a lot more of an opportunity here for Hanwha Life esports now. As Canyon also caught.
He is Nefiri, but still, big chunk done to him. And now immediately they're just going to start up this Baron. And their turn should be very good. Delight here, though, no ults, trying to frontline. And Canyon's nearby, so they got to be careful about this. And yeah, they're actually going to back away.
Chovy just has so much damage. He still has that blue buff. Ends up getting hit by the true shot, but still, he's so far away that punishing him is going to be impossible. 90 seconds until Elder. Ruler will not have flash for the final fight of the game.
This game is crazy. It's 46 minutes in.
Now, Delight still has flash because he didn't need to use it for that play there. And will have his ultimate back online. Weaver's wall's back up. As, man, Canyon is making me nervous this whole series.
This game is making me nervous.
I mean, I want to see outplays. I want to see a fantastic game. I don't want to see a game decided by somebody who was a little bit too greedy.
We've had that happen.
But it is looking like it's not going to happen yet. 60 seconds until Elder. Still control vision here in the Baron pit.
The longest game so far was T1 Gen.G Game 3 from round 1. So you guys all remember that game.
Yes.
Really just going to start the Baron. He is MF. I think they don't have to commit to this, but they kind of are. Now TP is coming in. Is it late?
Has to be Delight's engage angle, I think, if they're going to stop this.
Yeah, we have a wall coming down. There's the Delight engage. They get on top of Ruler, but he's still alive. He's still alive. It goes over to Canyon, but Ruler is dead. And now it's all up to Chovy to do the damage, but they find him on the top side of the fight, and Chovy is down. Hanwha Life esports should be able to win it from here. As Key is taken out as well. Canyon is on the run, and they just group up mid, and I don't think Canyon's got enough wave clear for this one, guys.
No, I don't think so. 10,000 damage to Viper. Delight dies in the engage, but the engage is good enough. It's a flip on the Baron, but the team fight wasn't even close. And finally, Hanwha will secure the win here in Game 2 to bring us to a 3-gamer. And I'm all here for it, Valdez.
Absolutely. This is what we signed up for today, guys. Game 3 between Gen.G and Hanwha Life esports is on the way as Hanwha take a grueling game number 2.